Okay, so this is I believe, the fifth video in this series where I try to create a third-person multiplayer shooter with Unreal using C++. I had a little issue with the recording, so previously when I left, I had this issue where when I equipped the weapon, my feet would slide across the ground. Um, I don't feel like refixing that a second time, so I'll just show you how I fixed it. So and this is probably not the best way to fix this. I'm sure there's some more proper way with animation layers and instances and all sorts of things to fix this. But for now, I'm looking for, I don't like working on animation blueprints, so I make them as simple as I can. So in the main locomotion part of my animation graph, in both the equipped rifle and the unequipped rifle, I've added this layered blend per bone node, and I've attached my blend space that does the walking and running to the top node, top pin of that node, and I've attached my equip and unequip animations to the bottom pin of that node. And on the layer blend per bone itself, I came in here and I added a new filter in the layer setup, and I currently have it set to spine underscore 02. And so what that does is it just splits the body on a particular bone, in this case spine 02, which is right here, right at the hips. Basically splits the body in half, so the top half does one thing and the bottom half does another, and that's what's happening here. As a matter of fact, I think you can probably add more pins if you want. I've never tried it, but yeah, add pin, so you could have more poses and split them however many times you want. We remove that, so that's how that is fixed. So the main thing I wanted to do today was to get the effects hooked up to the weapon. So when I left last time, and I don't know what happened to the material on my mannequin. Somehow I got it all fouled up playing around with it, but anyway, it doesn't matter because he's temporary anyway. So I'm not going to waste time fixing it. So when I click my trigger button, I get shots fired and line traces fired out, and that currently are colliding with the floor because I have no way to aim. So I want to go ahead and put all the effects into this weapon, get some sound, get some particle effects, etc. So I'm going to do that now. In order to do that, before I can really write any code, I'm going to be using the Niagara particle systems and meta sounds for the effects and the sounds. So I need to add those. Those are modules that are not included by default. I need to add them into the build process. To do that, I just come into, oh wow, my source failed to load. Let me reload that real quick. Okay, now it's reloaded. Not sure what caused that. I'm going to come in here into my build.cs file that's in my project, and I'm going to add two modules, Niagara and Meta Sound Engine. And I just got some IntelliSense there, but if you're wondering where you can find these module names, let me show you real quick. If you look up uMetaSound source is the class that I'm actually going to use, and if you look it up right there at the module in the source code reference, it'll tell you the module name. So, and this is true for any class that you need to use. So if you need to load a module in, it'll tell you right there. All right, so now that those are both loaded, and I misspelled that one. Now that those are both loaded, I'm going to add some properties, and I think I'm going to add them into my line trace weapon class rather than the base, because I think these are probably all going to be pretty specific to line trace weapons. So okay, so like I said, in my line trace weapon class, I'm going to create a new property. I think this one will be the muzzle flash. I'm going to use a Niagara system for that. And I'm going to forward declare that. Normally Writer would do that for me, but it seems to be a little slow today. Okay. So, let's see. I'm also going to add a meta sound source for the sound. And these should be object pointers. I constantly forget to type that. And then I'm gonna have two more. I'm gonna have another Niagara system for a generic sort of hit particle system whenever there's a hit against a generic surface. And then I'm going to make one specifically for flesh. And I'll probably have all, potentially I could have all kinds of systems in here eventually, but for now, and if I do that, I would probably come create an enum and make it a little bit better. Should that be capital? I do not remember. Okay. I believe that's all I need for now. I am going to open up my asset loader project. What did I miss here? Oh, right. I added that into my base class right here, so I don't need it in my line trace weapon class anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start compiling this, and while that's compiling, I'm going to open my asset loader project, and I'm going to find some effects here. So take a look here. I think I might have converted a particle system in here. must not have. Could have swore that I converted one of these. Here, this is the one I converted. So this was the only blood I could find for free. So let me go ahead and migrate this one. And I just want the blood. Thank you. I may come back and grab some of these others later, but for now, okay. And put that into my content folder, and then see if I got, it's still going. Okay, I'm gonna pause while I wait for this to finish copying. Oh, never mind. Okay. So I got that, and then I believe this mega pack, yes. Has this muzzle flash and this hit impact. I'm going to take both of these and migrate those as well. Actually, I'm going to keep all that. Okay. Wow, I really need to reboot something extra slow today. Okay, and then I want a sound. So let me see. Here we go. Sound. Okay, this is good because it has attenuations here as well, so I don't have to make them. So I'm gonna take. Let's see. I just want the wave files and the attenuations. So let me see. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take all of these. I don't know what I'm going to end up using, but might as well just go ahead and grab them all. Surface. And I'm going to grab these attenuation settings, or at least the projectile and the weapon shot ones. Okay. So now that I have that, let me open up my weapon blueprint here. And there we go. Okay, so for muzzle flash, let's see here. Actually, I should be able to see it. There we go. muzzle flash system. My meta sound I have to create, and let's see, this is my generic hit effect, which will be this one, and then my flesh hit effect, which I'll use the blood splatter. Okay, so now that I have all that set up, I need to actually do something with it. So in my line trace weapon.cpp file, there's a couple things. On fire timer. Let me see what this is all about. Yes. Interesting. It's like I didn't save my code at the end of. Okay. So, when the timer fires, I do my line trace. I'm gonna make a few functions here. And I'm gonna make them private. Let's do void play muzzle flash. Void play weapon fire sound and play impact. And I'll generate definitions for those. Okay, so the muzzle flash, we are going to use a function called, what is the name of it? Uniagara function library, I think I want to say is the name of this. And I'm not getting anything. With a capital F, which I have. Let me give another compile a shot. Sometimes when you open up a second instance of Unreal, things get a little weird. So I may have broken it when I opened up that asset loader project. Okay, let me see if that fixed anything. Still not showing up. Let me look at that page again. Niagara component. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just manually include that. And I might as well look up, I think the function is spawn. There we go, spawn system at location. There we go. Okay, so our parameters, we need the world, we need the template, we need the location, which is going to be the exact same location that we're doing the trace from. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and paste it, and then I believe we're going to need the rotation as well. scale. Pass in, actually, you know what, that's not correct. We'll just leave that because we don't need it at all. Auto destroy true, auto activate true, that's all good, so I don't need to, the defaults are all good there. I don't need anything else. I do need a T right there, and that should take care of that. Then we're gonna play the sound. Before I can do that, I need to go ahead and actually create the sound. So we will put it in here. Audio meta sound source, we'll call this ms underscore, and I'm going to prefix it since I'm creating it. Rifle fire. And for now, I'm just going to make this as absolutely as simple as it can be. Gonna grab one sound and call it a day for now. Obviously you can make this way more complicated, and we can take all those sounds and mix them together and do all kinds of stereo stuff. I know nothing about any of that. I just want to hear sound come out. So let me hit the play button. There we go. It seems like it's working. So now I have that meta sound source, and I can come into my rifle and I can configure it. And looks like everything else I configured somehow got erased, so I'll put that back. Okay, I took a quick break, so I need to remember where I was, and I believe, yes, I'm just putting these effects in. So one thing I do want to do is I want to play the impact effect, but I do need the hit result information to do that. So I'm going to add a parameter there to that. And I'm just going to copy that code and replace the muzzle flash system with the generic hit for now. Only instead of playing it at the muzzle socket, we're going to get the hit result location, and instead of the rotation here, we're going to get the hit result, and I think what we want is the normal, the impact normal. Actually, that's not going to work. Dot rotation, there we go. Impact normal dot rotation. So that should spawn my hit particle system, and then I just need to play the sound. And that is going to be, I think, play sound at location is the function. Let me see. Yeah, gameplay statics. Play display sound at location, and this is gonna be the world object. Then it's a U sound base pointer, and this is, so basically we need to cast the sound and let's see what else we got here. The location, which is also going to be our muzzle socket. Get rid of the extra comma there. And I think we can take the defaults for the rest of that. So that's all of our code. I'm going to compile that. And while it's compiling, I am going to change one thing that I did, which is in my meta sound here, under source attenuation, I'm going to put in this for now. Yes, okay. All right, we'll just wait for that to compile. Actually, I'm not going to just wait for that to compile because I set up my functions, but I didn't call them from anywhere. So let's see. We'll just play the muzzle flash here and the sound. And then if we get a hit, call that play impact, and that needs the hit object, and now I will compile that. There we go. Okay, now let's see what we got. Okay, so the sound and the muzzle flash are definitely playing. In order to see our other hit impact, I need to turn off that draw debug line, so I'll give that a compile. Okay, and give that a shot now. So you can see the little flash with the bullet impacts. That seems to be working really well. So there's one thing I want to look at real quick, which is there is a delay. There's a 1/10 of a second delay on this fire timer because my fire rate, is there a first delay? There we go, 0. compile that, but I'm going to sort of ignore it for now. I'm going to add in another character. And you know what, really what I want is I want a new blueprint class based on my character class. And I'm going to call this Aspen AI character. And later, I'm probably going to make a custom AI character class and reparent this. But for now, I will just set the skeletal mesh and the animation blueprint, and I will fix his location and rotation. No, that's not the mannequin I want. I want this one. Okay, and I'm going to stick him right there. And I'm going to come back into my code and for now, I'm just going to call this play generic impact, and I'm going to create another one called play flesh impact. So this will get refactored into the future into a single method that takes in enum more than likely, but for now I just want to see that everything is actually working. So this is going to be play generic impact, and I'm going to make a copy, and we'll call this one play flesh impact, and this one is going to take our flesh hit system in. I'll compile that. And that compile failed because I forgot to do one important thing, which is here in my logic that calls the function. I'm going to add some logic in here. Hit dot get actor is a Aspen character static class, and I'm going to play the flesh effect instead. Okay, so if the thing that we hit is a character, then we're going to play the flesh impact. Otherwise, we'll play the generic impact. So I'm going to compile that. Okay, so that compiled this time. Let me run it, and since I can't aim, it's going to be really hard to hit this guy. Oh, that didn't work. So I can guarantee you that that is because I am missing some resources that I need from my asset loader. So let me load that back up. Okay, so I got that loaded up, and let's see if I can remember where that was. blood. If I migrate this, I feel like there's some things that must be missing here. There's the material. An emitter. Maybe I should migrate this over. I mean, everything's still exactly the same. Okay, let me take a look at this. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's definitely playing here. I'll have to do a little bit of troubleshooting on this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I played around with that a bit, and what I ended up doing for now is I found that basically the problem was the smoke, dirt, and drops emitters, and really I don't want those anyway. I really just want this little blood spray. So I just turned all those off for now, and maybe I'll play with it later, maybe not. Let me give it a shot and see what we got now. There we go. So that is now working exactly how I want. There is one thing I need to do, which is I need to come to these methods I made, and before I try to play any of the effects or sounds, I need to make sure that they've actually been configured properly. So I'm gonna add in, oh wow, Rider just completely froze on me. There we go. I'm gonna add in checks to each one of these to just make sure before I play something that it actually exists. Otherwise, we'll get a very ugly crash. Okay, so those are all there. I'll give that a compile, and I think that is probably where I will stop this video. I have not dealt with any of the multiplayer issues around this weapon firing. Right now, this method is executing on either the client or server, wherever it happens to run, and it needs to be run on the server. So I'll have to next time write some code to deal with that, get multiplayer working properly. There's a few animation quirks that I still would like to fix, but I may hold off on those because what I do need to do is allow you to be able to aim the weapon in some kind of way. And I do want, when you're aiming, I do probably want to have it in like a strafing mode rather than the walking forward mode that it's in now. But let's check one thing real quick before I sign off and just see what happens without updating that code for multiplayer. If I fire my weapon on the server, on the clients, and I'm sure if I do it on the client, nothing will happen on the server. So that is probably the first thing I'll fix next time. I don't want to get too far ahead of the multiplayer because coming in and having to put it back in later will be, a lot more trouble than just going ahead and adding it in as I go. So I'll get that multiplayer working, and then if I have time, I'll start working on maybe the movement and aiming of the character. Anyway, that's it for now. Any questions or comments, just leave them below, and should be back soon with another video.